What's up everybody? Dean Z here, and we are here at the OC Auto Show right here in Anaheim. And today I'm with something that is near and dear to my heart because I did once have the Kia Sportage X-Pro Prestige. And I have to say, the 26 model is looking amazing, redesigned, all new front fascia. I think they're going with different wheels today, and I can tell you that there is new technology and a new design inside. So maybe we should go take a look at it and see what it's rocking for the 2026 year model, because this thing is just, it gets better and better. And I know a lot of people might be like, you know, I miss the boomerang lights, and those were great, but I really do think these are pretty damn sharp. And I have to say, the interior tech, while it has some controversy with the wheel, I'm a fan, and I'll explain why. So let's dive inside and I'll show you the new 2026 Kia Sportage here at the OC Auto Show. Let's take a look. All right, guys, Dean here, Dean Z, whatever you want to call me, just don't call me stupid. And if you did, it's okay. But we are here inside the cabin of the brand new 2026 Kia Sportage X-Pro Prestige. Now, the 25 model was already pretty good. I have to say that the controversies were the dual infotainment climate control multi-option thing, and that's still here, but I'm telling you, once you get used to that, that's pretty easy. The other controversy was, well, they gave you a wireless charger, but you couldn't wirelessly charge because there was no wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. You could buy an adapter and solves your problem. But I believe from the rumor mill that was a little dispute with TomTom and the maker of their internal navigation system. Like I said earlier, one of the controversies was the wheel. Some people miss the three-spoke design, and can I tell you something? I am not one of those people. I am one of those drivers who, on long road trips, I cherish and love anytime a wheel, you can put your hand here. Because when you're cruising and you got cruise control, this is where you want to do it. You want to just keep your hand here and keep it steady. And it's hard when you have a middle spoke here. You have to do the claw, and I don't like doing the claw. So having this open air design in the wheel, for me, is just great. Other than that, all the buttons are roughly in the right spot. I do like the drive mode. They've moved it. And another thing that they've done is that this center console system here used to be piano black, and I think that was like on every trim. They've gotten rid of it, and they've made it match the wood grain that comes along the interior here. And I have to say, what a change. Subtle change, but it goes miles for the customer experience. In this car, you have every option. There is no button that is blank. No Billy blanks here, okay? You have heated and ventilated seats. You have your engine start stop right here. And you do have your wireless charger. And for the 2026 year model, you now have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And that just frees up a whole lot. And I have to say, one of the other things I believe is, yes, this is really cool. There is YouTube built in. Now, obviously, I'm sure that is not going to be allowed while driving. And for the love of God, I hope not. Because I've seen people with their phones, let alone full YouTube on their screens. But if you're parked, you drop your wife or girlfriend off at Ashley Furniture, you don't feel like going in, you can watch YouTube on the big screen while you're waiting, which is nice. There was a rumor that a feature was going to come to CarPlay through Apple, and it never did. So the fact that manufacturers are now stepping up and realizing, hey, these mid-size SUVs are not just for people who are going on road trips, these are family cars. Outside of that, everything's roughly the same. I've always loved these capacitive touch lights here in the cabin. You do have your Kia Connect. The Kias, not only for me do I truly think they are very reliable, but they're more fun. There's more tech, there's more quirks and features, as Doug likes to call it. The moonroof that I have is your standard moonroof, same size since the 70s and 80s. But this Now, this only opens at a standard size for air, but that's really all you need. But even when it's shut, you get front to back glass. So on a beautiful sunny day, you can have the air conditioning going, but you can still see the sunlight, and it really adds to that open cabin space. It really makes it feel bigger than it is in here, although it is very big inside, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. Other than that, I would say your technology in here is great. You have one of the bigger screens that you can get on cars today. Now, as manufacturers come out, I'm noticing, like the Volkswagens, they're putting these huge tablet size, Tesla competing screen sizes. But this, I think, is more than enough that you'd ever need. I mean, just think about even 5 to 8 years ago, screens were literally this big in cars. And then slowly but surely, as the demand for CarPlay came out, the smaller screens seemed a little toyish to put something as refined as Google and Apple onto. And, you know, Kia has really stepped it up. The quality of materials in here feels as good, if not better, than some of its competitors. Toyota, I mean, go sit in any Toyota today. You know, if I review a Toyota today, please do not tell them what I said. But I have seen some Toyota interiors. And to their credit, I have to say, I believe the 26 models for their RAV4s are stepping up the niceties inside. But for the last few years, have been very bland. Here in the Kia, you got your leather-wrapped steering wheel, you have heated steering wheel, you have the app. So if you buy or lease this car, I believe it's for the first year or 3 years, don't quote me on that, but I know you get the app for free, and you get the remote start anywhere. You get to see any codes, you get to see your geolocations, you get to see your battery percentage and the voltage meter, and you just get all these amazing benefits from the app. And because of that, if you do pay for the Kia Connect, I believe that there's actual like weather and information integration that you get all in this dash, all at a touch and a glance. I have used its lane keep assist and its auto steering. It's great. I drove from New York to California in a base model 23 Kia Sportage, and it still came with all that advanced technology on it. And when I was going through Nebraska, long 100+ mile stretches of road, it can get very boring, and when boring hits, it can get very dangerous. So when you had that on, along with the cruise control, and especially on something like this that has the adaptive cruise control, you can set it, forget it, keep your eye focused on the road, listen to your podcasts, listen to whatever you want on long road trips, and you're not going to get that foot fatigue, you're not going to get that body fatigue. These seats are so comfortable. I know it sounds like I'm shilling for Kia, but it's because I was a Kia customer. And having tried a new Honda, which again is not bad in any way, but there's a shoe for every foot, right? Well, Kia is my shoe. I am probably, most definitely, going to go back, especially to see when my lease is up in 28, what they're offering then. And I'll be back here again to show you those offerings. So let's go around the car and take a look. Let's go in the back seat and take a look. All right, guys, so here we are in the back seat of the 2026 Kia Sportage X-Pro Prestige. And I have to say, brings back the memories. Everything I loved about this back seat is still here. The leather that they are using, I believe it's a Syntex manufactured leather, which is great if you're an animal lover. These Kias have come up in such a way where the engines are much better than they were years ago. The transmissions are pretty simple, which means they're not going to break down as compared to DSGs and all these weird technologies they have out there. I bet you if you baby this thing, the leather and the engines will last equally as long. And I have to say, when you get it new, very soft, very great materials on it. What I've always liked about these back seats is that everyone puts their chargers here, and that's cool, and you do get your chargers, but they put them here on the back. And you know what I like about that? If you get just the right length of cable, you plug it in here and then you loop it into the car seat. All right, guys, here we are at the backside, the back end of the Kia Sportage 2026 X-Pro Prestige. And you know it's an X-Pro because, well, it says X-Pro. My friend has a 23 X-Pro Prestige. His badges are not blacked out. Now, I had the 25. I can't tell you if that missing year of 24 started it, but clearly somewhere between 24 and 25, they started blacking out the badges on the upper trims. And I have to say, that is a beautiful, just little great addition to detail. Blacked out badges, blacked out rims. It's the look, and it's the way a lot of manufacturers are going today, and Kia is no different. And with that black rim on here, and the fact that they're blacking out all the badges, including the one on the hood, it just really adds to this more premium feeling look of the car, and it just adds to that edginess of it. So then the cool thing with the Kias back here, now I don't have the key because remember, we're in demo mode, okay? But assuming you're the owner and you have the key, you can, in the settings, turn it on where no foot under the, you don't have to do this, you don't have to wish or do anything crazy. You have your key on you and the settings are set correctly. If you're carrying bags and you walk up to the back, and it worked for me and I love this feature, you stand in front of it, give it a second, you'll hear some beeps and it'll just open for you. It's smart detecting technology. It knows you're there. Do you have your power rear tailgate back here? You know, standard at a trim model this big. And I have to say, this is another favorite feature of mine. The cargo space. You get so much cargo space in here. And a spare tire. This is a solid choice. You have a 12-volt outlet in the back, and you just bought a TV from Best Buy. You forgot to put the seats down. Oh no, I'm lazy and I don't feel like going around to the back doors. It's okay. It's okay. Pull this lever, seats fold down. Pull the other lever, other seats fold down. And now you've just increased your storage space by miles. It does not go back up. Okay, that was all mechanically driven. There's no computers running that. That is just a basic pulley system, I'm assuming. So if you do want to put the seats up, now you do have to go back around, but it is a very easy thing to do. And also, one of the things I like about Kias is that a lot of the cars in this segment are going to have wipers permanently here. Reminds me of the Steve Jobs era when he introduced the iPhone. He said, well, what's the problem with the phones? Well, you have these buttons down here that are just there, whether you're using them or not. And Kia must have watched that video, because ever since they redesigned the Sportage, it's always been one of my favorite features. Your wiper is here. It's hidden. So when you're not using it, you have that streamlined look to it. And then when you do want to use it, it swings down and actually gives you pretty good coverage if it's raining or it's dusty or whatever you need. The only downside is when you do wash this, if you're washing it by hand or with a power washer, getting under here can be a little tedious, but it is doable. Although, what I'm just noticing is, yes, this is more accessible than the older models. Much more accessible, much easier to clean. So, kudos on them, because it was more, there was more material here. So I am very happy with that. You do have your lights back here, and the changes to the back are pretty subtle. Not a lot from the previous generation, although just a little bit. I think they're a little bit more aggressive. I think they're a little bit more matured now than the other ones, but they, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and they really didn't fix it. They didn't need to fix it. And then here's your reverse light. Not the biggest fan of that, because just like with turn signals being down here, and Hyundai does that, I feel like if somebody else is in a higher car, which is a lot of cars are today, you don't see that right away. I do wish the reverse lights were somewhere up here, but it is down here. So yeah, let's take a look and see. I don't know if I can pop the hood, but let's just do one more walk around and take a look at the car. All right, guys, now onto the tires. I want to show you these, okay? When you buy the X-Pro Prestige, well, the X-Pro, I believe it comes in X-Pro and X-Pro Prestige. You got to remember, this is Kia's more off-roady vehicle, and I do recommend that if you live in a major metropolitan area, you really should look at some of the off-road trims in any brand that you're looking at, because while yes, maybe you don't plan on going off-roading or going on dirt roads and this and that, I can tell you that here, living in Los Angeles, the roads are not the best. So by having these big, beefier, all-terrain tires, you get a much better ride, much smoother ride. You handle potholes better, and the curb rash that you get from these low profile tires is more avoidable with that. Added on, that you do have side view cameras, so assuming you're parking close to a curb and you make sure you have the right camera on, it's pretty damn easy to avoid that dreaded curb rash that I see on a lot of Teslas. And I don't know why it's Tesla specifically, maybe it's my brain pointing it out, but I know that on this, when I had the X Pro, you never had that problem if you just put a little thought into it, and the tires definitely helped a lot with that, because your rim is much higher than the low profile, so unless you were parking next to a much higher curb, you could actually get away with it. I do love these designs that Kia's going with on their rims. They are just, they're thick, they're meaty, they're beefy, but they're just great. I really think it adds to the look. Black on the white with the black, it's just a great combo. So these tires are great. Remember, this is all-wheel drive, got great suspension in there. And as a previous owner, I can tell you the ride quality, phenomenal, especially on really bad roads. And I do chalk it up to the beefier tires. All right, guys, so here is the big redesign on the Kia Sportage. Okay, for, I believe it was the 2023 model year is when they did their substantial redesign and their design language that you're seeing all over the place. Because the year before that, it was that more traditional, bubbly Kia Sportage. It had the older badging. It was really kind of the mom mobile, and there's nothing wrong with saying that, because just like Domino's learned their lesson with pizza, Kia learned their lesson in design and function and just cool factor. Really, between that new badge, which I do find very sick. When they first came out with this, you had the boomerang headlights. If you saw them in your rearview mirror, it was a dead giveaway. Hey, that's a Kia Sportage. I've seen on Reddit and a few other places that people are a little upset. Oh, it looks like the same thing now and all these manufacturers on the road, but I don't know. They kept kind of a boomerang, but just in the inverse way that it used to be. It used to go this way, and now you have lights going this way, but they're beefier lights down here. I mean, you have these giant LED arrays all going down the side. You have your fog lights. It really makes it, I think, look a little more aggressive and more modern. You know, eventually you do have to make a new model look like a new model. 3 to 4 years of a generation of a design is great, but you don't want things to get stale. This is a very subtle change compared to the one that they used to have, that I think for most fans of it makes things feel very familiar while still changing it up. Maybe I'm in the wrong demographic, but I do actually like this light design. You still have that grille, that nice blacked out grille, again, comes on the X Pro. Blacked out badging, black front fascia, you have your parking sensors, you do have your front facing camera down here, rain sensing wipers, and you have your sensor there as well. And also, if you can, I don't know if you can take a look, but when the moonroof is open, you do have that nice wind guard there to help with the shakes. So overall, the 26 Kia Sportage, especially in this top trim X Pro Prestige, I gotta say, if you're in the market for a midsize SUV that's gonna have so much bang for the buck, all-wheel drive, gets great gas mileage for it being a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. I don't know if it's changed, but I believe it used to be 187 horsepower with 195 foot-pounds of torque. But for city driving, for cruising, for road trips, it's a jack of all trades. So definitely take a look at the Kia Sportage for your next crossover if you're in the market for one. So I'm Dean Z, signing off on this, and let's check the B-roll and I'll show you the rest of the car.
The 2026 X-Pro Prestige builds on last year with a more refined cabin, smarter convenience features, and the kind of premium touches you'd expect on a higher price tag. From the panoramic sunroof and premium audio to heated and ventilated seats, advanced driver assistance, this trim packs it all in. And the real highlight is the value, because on this fully loaded model, you're getting a long list of options, included at a price that undercuts many other competitors. The X-Pro Prestige proves that in 2026, practical can still feel premium.